The Israel-Palestine conflict has persisted for decades, leaving a profound impact not only on the Middle East but also on the global stage. This comprehensive analysis explores the multifaceted consequences of the conflict, spanning regional stability, global diplomacy, humanitarian concerns, economic impact, media attention, radicalization, extremism, and diplomatic alliances. Through an extensive examination of historical context, current challenges, and future prospects, this study aims to elucidate the far-reaching effects of the Israel-Palestine conflict, emphasizing the urgent need for a sustainable solution to promote peace and stability in the region and beyond. Introduction. The Israel-Palestine conflict stands as one of the most entrenched and volatile disputes in modern history, with ramifications that extend far beyond the borders of the region. From regional stability to global diplomacy, humanitarian concerns, economic impact, media attention, radicalization, extremism, and diplomatic alliances, the conflict casts a wide net of influence that touches nearly every corner of the world. This introduction sets the stage for the comprehensive analysis that follows, outlining the scope and significance of the Israel-Palestine conflict and emphasizing the urgency of finding a resolution to mitigate its wide-ranging consequences. Historical context and origins of the conflict. This section provides a detailed examination of the historical roots and origins of the Israel-Palestine conflict, tracing its evolution from early historical and religious significance to the present day. Topics include the British Mandate and the Partition Plan of 1947, Arab-Israeli Wars, the Palestinian refugee crisis, the Six-Day War, and the peace process initiated by the Oslo Accords. By understanding the historical context of the conflict, we can gain insights into the complex dynamics that continue to shape the present-day situation. 2. Regional stability. At its core, the Israel-Palestine conflict perpetuates a cycle of instability in the Middle East, impacting neighboring countries and potentially igniting tensions throughout the region. This section explores the regional ramifications of the conflict, including its role in fueling existing conflicts, creating a breeding ground for extremism and terrorism, and exacerbating geopolitical tensions. By examining the impact of the conflict on regional stability, we can better understand its broader implications for peace and security in the Middle East. 3. Global diplomacy. With each flare-up of violence or political deadlock, the Israel-Palestine conflict presents a significant challenge in international diplomacy. This section analyzes the various diplomatic efforts and initiatives aimed at mediating and resolving the conflict, including the roles of nations, organizations, and multilateral institutions. Topics include United Nations resolutions, peace initiatives, the role of the United States, European Union, and Russia, and the challenges to multilateral diplomacy. By assessing the global diplomatic landscape surrounding the conflict, we can identify opportunities and challenges for achieving a peaceful resolution. 4. Humanitarian concerns. The human toll of the Israel-Palestine conflict is staggering, with civilian casualties, displacement, and the deprivation of basic services such as healthcare and education. This section examines the humanitarian crises resulting from the conflict, including their impact on affected populations and the international community's response. Topics include access to healthcare and education, human rights violations, psychosocial impacts, humanitarian aid, and the role of NGOs and civil society. By highlighting the humanitarian dimensions of the conflict, we can underscore the urgent need for a sustainable solution to alleviate the suffering of those affected. Economic impact. The instability and insecurity fueled by the Israel-Palestine conflict have significant economic repercussions, both within the region and globally. This section analyzes the economic impact of the conflict, including its effects on trade routes, investments, development initiatives, and economic disparities. Topics include the disruption of economic activities, trade routes and regional integration, investment climate, and development projects. By examining the economic dimensions of the conflict, we can better understand its broader implications for economic growth, development, and stability. Why? Media attention. The Israel-Palestine conflict receives extensive media coverage worldwide, shaping public perceptions and influencing international discourse on fundamental issues such as human rights and territorial disputes. This section explores the role of media attention in shaping the narrative surrounding the conflict, including its influence on public opinion and government policies. Topics include coverage by international news outlets, social media, propaganda, and media literacy. By examining the media narratives surrounding the conflict, we can better understand their impact on public perceptions and the prospects for peace. 7. Radicalization and extremism. The unresolved nature of the Israel-Palestine conflict serves as a potent catalyst for radicalization and extremism, with profound global security implications. This section analyzes the role of the conflict in fueling radicalization and extremism, including its impact on global security and counter-terrorism efforts. Topics include recruitment strategies of extremist groups, ideological dimensions of the conflict, and addressing root causes of radicalization. By examining the linkages between the conflict and extremism, we can identify strategies for promoting peace and countering violent extremism. 8. Diplomatic alliances. Countries worldwide often align themselves with either Israel or Palestine based on historical, political, or ideological factors, shaping diplomatic relations and alliances on a global scale. This section explores the diplomatic alignments surrounding the conflict, including their implications for international relations and peace efforts. Topics include historical alignments, regional blocs, economic incentives, and the role of international organizations. By examining diplomatic alliances, we can better understand the complexities of the international landscape and identify opportunities for promoting peace and reconciliation. Conclusion. The Israel-Palestine conflict casts a long shadow that extends across continents, impacting regional stability, global diplomacy, humanitarian efforts, economic activities, media narratives, radicalization, extremism, and diplomatic alignments. Despite decades of efforts to find a resolution, the path to peace remains elusive, with numerous obstacles and challenges hindering progress. However, with a concerted and sustained commitment to dialogue, negotiation, and compromise, there remains hope for a future where Israelis and Palestinians can coexist in peace and security. This conclusion summarizes the key findings of the analysis and emphasizes the urgent need for a sustainable solution to promote peace and stability in the region and beyond.